You have done everything right. You read the books, you went to therapy, you made the list, the exact, specific list of what you wanted, and then you met someone, and every rational thought left your body instantly. The pull was immediate. The chemistry was overwhelming, and somewhere deep in your mind, a quiet voice whispered, "This one is going to hurt you." You went anyway. Here's what nobody ever tells you about that moment. That warning voice and the pull dragging you forward came from the exact same place. The attraction was not a mistake. It was not weakness. It was not damage. It was a signal. Ancient, precise, and built into your nervous system long before you were born. And before this is over, I am going to show you exactly why the most dangerous people feel like home. But first, we need to go back. A long way back. Most people drawn to chaotic or emotionally unavailable partners are told the same thing. You have low self-worth. You are recreating your childhood wounds. You need to heal before you can love correctly. And look, some of that is real. Childhood absolutely shapes adult attachment patterns. But that explanation leaves out something enormous. It leaves out the 200,000 years that came before your childhood. In 2006, researcher Jay Belsky at Birkbeck University of London published findings that reframed human stress responses entirely. Belsky found that children raised in high-stress, unpredictable environments did not simply develop damage. They developed a precise biological strategy. Their nervous systems recalibrated. They became faster at reading threat, more alert to inconsistency, more drawn to high-stimulation environments as adults. Not because something broke inside them, because that recalibration was the correct response to the world they were surviving in. Now push that finding back 10,000 years. Push it back 50,000 years. Push it back to a world where the calm, predictable partner was often the first one to die. For most of human history, survival was a daily competition. You were competing against starvation, predators, disease, and rival groups. In that world, the most valuable thing a partner could offer was not emotional consistency. It was vigilance. It was the ability to read a room or a forest before anyone else even registered the danger. These traits do not feel calm and safe. They feel electric. They feel like being fully seen and then suddenly invisible, like warmth that appears without warning and disappears the same way, like someone who pulls you in close and then creates just enough distance to make you desperate to close it. Sound familiar? Anthropologist Helen Fisher at Rutgers University has spent decades studying attraction and the human brain. Her research found that early romantic attraction activates the dopamine reward system, the exact same system that fires during risk, novelty, and unpredictable reward. That last phrase is the one that matters. Unpredictable reward. Your brain does not respond most powerfully to guaranteed reward. It responds most powerfully to reward that might not arrive. This is not the quirk of damaged people. This is a feature of every human brain on Earth. Neuroscientist Wolfram Schultz at the University of Cambridge discovered something critical about dopamine in the 1990s. He found that dopamine neurons fire most intensely not when a reward arrives, but when a reward might arrive. The uncertainty itself is the drug. A partner who is consistently warm and available trains your brain to expect warmth. A partner who is sometimes warm, sometimes cold, and completely unpredictable about which one you will get trains your brain to become obsessed. Your dopamine system goes into overdrive. Your attention locks onto them completely. You interpret the cold moments as puzzles to solve instead of as information about who they are. Scientists call this intermittent reinforcement, and here is the thing that should genuinely stop you. Cold. Intermittent reinforcement is the most powerful behavioral conditioning mechanism ever identified in human psychology. More powerful than consistent positive reinforcement. More powerful than consistent negative reinforcement. The entire casino industry was built on this one principle. And so, completely unintentionally, was your most painful relationship, We need to go one level deeper because this is not just about dopamine. This is about inheritance. Evolutionary psychologist David Buss at the University of Texas has documented how mate preferences shift based on environmental stress across dozens of cultures. His findings are consistent across populations worldwide. When resources are scarce and mortality risk is high, both men and women shift their attraction preferences toward bold, dominant, risk-tolerant partners. When environments are stable and safe, preferences shift toward warmth and dependability. Your nervous system reads your environment constantly. It adjusts what it finds attractive based on what that environment demands. And if your early life, or your ancestors' lives across thousands of generations, was consistently high threat and unpredictable, your baseline attraction settings are calibrated for a world that no longer exists. You are navigating the present with a compass set to magnetic north from 10,000 years ago. The compass is not broken. The world changed. In 2012, archaeologists excavating a site in the Sungheir region of Russia uncovered something that stopped researchers completely. They found two adolescents buried together, approximately 34,000 years old. The burial was extraordinary. More than 10,000 hand-drilled ivory beads had been placed around their bodies. Carved mammoth ivory lay beside them, fox teeth arranged in careful patterns that would have taken hundreds of hours to create. These two young people were sent into the earth with more deliberate care and intention than almost any other burial from that entire era. Archaeologists studying comparable Paleolithic burial sites have noted that this level of elaborate burial signals something beyond family obligation or ritual duty. It signals chosen connection. Deep, specific, irreplaceable human bonding. These people, 34,000 years ago, felt what you feel. That specific ache of someone mattering more than they should. The need to mark it, to make it last, to say, this person changed something inside me. Whatever drew them together, survival instinct, electric attraction, something neither of them had words for, it was real enough to outlast 34,000 years of frozen ground. The capacity to be completely undone by another person is the oldest thing about you. Now I owe you what I promised. Back at the beginning, I told you that the warning voice and the pull toward them came from the exact same place. Here is exactly what that means. Your nervous system does not fully separate love from threat, not completely, because for most of human history, love and threat lived in the same body. The person worth bonding with was often the most formidable person around, the most alert, the most reactive, the most capable of danger, and the most capable of protection, both at once. Tenderness and unpredictability came wrapped in the same person. Your nervous system learned to read both signals simultaneously, and it learned to interpret that combination as important, as worth pursuing, as something you absolutely could not afford to lose. When you feel that pull towards someone who also makes you feel slightly off balance, your ancient brain is not making an error. It is running a program that says, high value, pay full attention, do not let this one go. That program was correct for 200,000 years. It is simply running in the wrong century. Sit with that for a moment. You were not drawn to chaos because you are damaged. You were drawn to it because somewhere deep in your ancestry, chaos and survival were the same thing. The people who found pure safety boring, who needed the electricity, who read danger as excitement, their children survived. And their children's children survived. All the way down to you. I want you to think about a woman. Call her Ada. She lived roughly 800 years ago. Her village is small, the winters are long, and the margin between surviving and not surviving is razor thin. She has two choices in front of her. A man who is gentle, consistent, and present every single day. A man who is restless and unpredictable, who reads danger before it arrives and acts while others are still deciding. Every rational thought points to the first man, but something deep in her body pulls her toward the second. She chooses the second. And here is the part that breaks something open. Her children survive a famine because their father reads the signs of crop failure weeks early and moves the family before the worst arrives. Her grandchildren survive a brutal winter because they inherited that same restless vigilance. That same ability to feel wrongness in the air, that same discomfort with stillness, that same pull toward the electric over the merely safe. Ada did not make a mistake. Ada made the only decision her nervous system knew how to make. Her body was doing the most ancient thing a body can do. It was trying to keep the future alive. And when you feel that pull, the one everyone around you says is wrong, the one you cannot fully explain, you are feeling exactly what Ada felt. You are not broken. You are descended from her. You carry Ada with you. You carry every ancestor who looked across a fire and chose the one who made their chest tighten. You carry 200,000 years of survival decisions in a body living in a world those decisions were never built for. You carry nervous system settings calibrated for a world where inconsistency meant danger and danger meant pay close attention. You carry dopamine pathways that light up brightest for exactly the kind of reward that might not come. You carry a compass pointing at a magnetic north that shifted before your grandparents were born. None of that makes you weak. None of that makes you foolish. None of that means you are condemned to repeat it. Because here is what evolution built into you that changes everything. The ability to see your own wiring, to understand where it came from, to hold it in your hands and look at it clearly. You are not the first human to feel this pull. You are the first in your entire ancestral line, with enough understanding of the pull to choose differently. Not because the feeling disappears. It will not disappear, but because now you know what it is. You know it is ancient code running in a modern life. You know it was built for a world that existed before cities, before safety, before any human being had the language to ask, is this person good for the life I actually have? So the next time you feel that electricity, that specific pull towards someone who makes you feel alive and uncertain at the same time, you can pause and ask one question your ancestors never had the tools to ask. Is this right for the world I live in now? Not the world that built me. The world I am standing in today. You are the first version of your bloodline who gets to answer that question consciously. 200,000 years of choosing, and it all comes down to you.